Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Juliana. I just want to apologize for the audio quality on my last video. I don't know what happened, but hopefully this video is a little better. So last year, I decided to make an Instagram as a way to document my outfits. So I noticed that as I was starting to take pictures, or at least trying to, I always looked super awkward and uncomfortable. And whenever I tried to pose, it always came across really forced. So over time and a lot of trial and error, I've figured out some tips and tricks that make it easier to look better in photos and wanted to share these tips with you guys today. While these tips came from me taking pictures for Instagram, you certainly don't have to be posing for social media in order to implement them. These tips should help even if you just want to look better in family photos or pictures with friends. And I know not everyone cares about taking selfies, but it's sometimes nice to not always feel like the one that looks bad in group pictures. I'm going to split this video up into 3 sections, basically what you can do with your face, with your body, and with the camera if you have control over it. So let's start with your face. The goal here is to look relaxed and effortless. You want to practice a bit in the mirror, even though it sounds a little silly, but you want to find the expression that matches best with your personality. If you're super bubbly and outgoing, you'll most likely look really natural with a big smile, whereas if you're pretty reserved, you might feel more comfortable with a more neutral expression. I think a lot of us will find that we're a mix of the two depending on the occasion, so I'm going to explore both. For instance, my more neutral expression is to have a slightly open mouth, face tilted up just a bit, and eyes relaxed. If you feel weird not smiling in a photo, looking to the side just 45 degrees can make it seem a lot less confrontational. Looking to the side can make you look kind of mischievous or playful, as well as more effortless in your pose. And I'd say the most natural way to do this is basically just do one of those mirror selfies where you have your phone in your hand. To make it look more natural, tilt your head slightly to the opposite side that you're looking. So for example, if you were looking to the right, tilt your head slightly to the left and vice versa. If you want to smile, again, you're going to want to practice a little bit in the mirror to see what kind of smile looks most natural on you. And there's so many different options. You can go for a more cutesy effect with your mouth open, kind of smiling as if you were shocked. Or you can have a smaller smile that comes off as shy and demure. The most traditional one is obviously going to be the full smile, and you can really play with whether or not you want to show your teeth. For the more traditional types of smiles, make sure that you're smiling with your eyes. I know it can be hard to not make it feel forced, but just imagine someone said something hilarious and the camera is capturing you mid-laugh. In other words, for it to look genuine, your smile should reflect actual happiness. Also, it can be super helpful to know your good side. We all have a certain degree of facial asymmetry. Personally, my right side produces a wider smile, so I tend to angle my face towards my right side. Especially for smiling pictures, it can look best when taken at a 3/4 angle. Staring straight on can definitely work, but sometimes it can look a little unnatural. Also, a quick tip to snatch your jawline is to push your tongue to the roof of your mouth. This will tighten the neck and the jowl area and lift the entire face up. And this is especially helpful when you want to take pictures from your profile. My last tip for the face is to find a hairstyle that flatters your face shape. Your hair should be a wonderful fluffy frame for your face, but should not cloud your features. Let me know if you want a video on this topic because there's so many different hairstyles to try depending on the type of face shape you have. Okay, now on to how you can position your body. Good posture is probably the most important thing for taking good pictures. This is personally something I kind of struggle with, but having your shoulders back really emphasizes your décolletage and makes your entire figure seem taller. And this is what will also give you a swan-like neck. Always have a flat back and a neutral spine when standing to avoid looking hunched over. Beyond having good posture, it's also super great to make shapes to make for a more dynamic pose. And by making shapes, I don't mean this in the supermodel editorial type of way. Even making small natural shapes in your silhouette can really do a lot for your figure no matter how casual the photo is. Also, if you're taking full body pictures, you really want to focus on elongating your vertical line. Now, your vertical line refers to how tall you appear in relation to your horizontal proportions. It doesn't actually really matter how tall or short you are. Elongating your vertical line will just make you look more streamlined and less bunched up in photos. There's actually so many ways you can influence your vertical line through your clothing, but I'm just gonna stick with today's topic of the picture taking and posing part. So one of the easiest ways to elongate your vertical line is with your foot placement. All you need to do is place one foot in front of the other and slightly internally rotate your knee of the foot that's placed in front, and by doing so you make a gentle triangle shape. It's very subtle, but will make the whole you look a lot taller than if you were just to stand with your feet together. Back to the idea of making shapes with your body, you really want to try and make triangle shapes with your limbs. By doing so, this makes your entire stance look a lot more intentional and your pose more flattering. For your legs, you can bend one leg and kick a foot up as a sort of romantic pose. And a quick tip for this, if you have flat shoes, make sure to flex your foot, and if you're wearing heels, make sure to point your foot. You can also try squatting down to make a more compact triangle. This pose can be a little tricky to implement because you want to make sure you still have a flat back and maintain good posture. So I'd say just try it out and see if it fits with your overall style. You can also do this with your arms. The easiest way I can think of is placing your hand next to the side of your head as if you were trying to tuck back a piece of hair. Or you can have your hands on your hips with your fingers pointed down and your thumb towards the camera. This also demonstrates how important it is to know what to do with your hands so you don't look awkward. Rather than just having them hang by your sides, try and think of your hands as your supporting actors. And again, there's so many options. You can clasp both of them in front of you, or you can have one hand on your hip and one hand on your thigh. If you notice in all of these poses, I'm still making triangles with my arms. If I were to round my arms, it just looks less clean and visually satisfying. If you want to sit, you can try positioning your feet so that they're no longer just directly under your knees. You can also try widening your stance and just bringing your knees together, or just crossing one leg over the other. Another tip for full-length pictures is something I actually saw Blake Lively do. It was on the red carpet, I don't really remember for what award show, but she basically was holding a stiff pose with most of her body while letting one arm kind of swing gently by her side. This way she had complete control over her pose, but this loose swinging arm is what made her pictures look most effortless. I know this can feel a little silly if you try this in a group setting, but you really don't have to swing your arm around a lot. It's just meant to give a little bit of movement and make your pictures look more dynamic. My last tips have to do with positioning the camera. More times than not, I would recommend situating the camera farther away and then zooming in if needed. This is because the camera really distorts everything and no one really looks good super up close. I mean, unless you're going for like the fishbowl vibe, which can look really cool with certain retro and street style aesthetics. And unless you're doing it for more artistic purposes, try not to tilt the camera angle too much because again, it can distort your features. If someone is taking pictures of you, ask them to try and take it at around shoulder height and keep the camera itself level. I also have a quick editing tip that you can just do in the Photos app if you have an iPhone. For pictures that if you like the actual picture but you don't really like the angle it was taken at, all you have to do is go to the crop button and go to the various distortion modes, and there you can really change the angle that the picture looks like it was taken at. I'm sure a lot of you guys already knew this, but personally I didn't until recently. Alright guys, that is all I have for you for this video. I hope you guys found something useful and something that you can implement in your picture taking. Please make sure to follow me on my Instagram and TikTok so you can, I guess, see all these pictures and outfits that I've been kind of plugging throughout the video. And yeah, until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye guys!